Day 6, Thunder Bay to Sault Ste. Marie. After yesterday's mentally and physically exhausting drive, plus a few close calls, I decided that it was much better for me to take it easier today. I woke up a little later than normal, had breakfast that wasn't rushed, and off I went. Before leaving Thunder Bay, it was important for me to stop and pay homage to a Canadian hero that is known throughout the world and has made the ultimate sacrifice for a greater humanity. I visited the Terry Fox Memorial. I drove up the road to a side of a cliff where a great monument of Terry Fox stood overlooking the shores of Lake Superior. A short walk from the parking lot led to a clearing where from a distance the trees opened up to a statue of greatness. Here was someone to aspire to. An average person who faced a tremendous challenge, not of his own choice, but chose to overcome that nearly impossible challenge no matter the cost. While it cost him his life, his sacrifice had turned into a legacy that had been immortalized for all future generations. While I didn't remain at the Terry Fox Memorial for long, the thoughts of my own life from childhood to present filled my mind. How could I possibly live my life as a better person? Certain sections of my life were like my trip so far. There were exhilarating times like paragliding in Lumby, to poor decisions like last night's race to Thunder Bay. There were great choices made like dining at the Thai restaurant in Moose Jaw, to poor decisions like Starbucks energy drinks. While I had always been critical of my own mistakes, I knew that, like Terry Fox, anyone who has the commitment and the discipline to overcome the challenges they face. My challenge was to achieve some level of greatness in my short time on this earth. What would my greatness be like? How would I know when I have achieved it? Many questions filled my mind, more questions that I could not possibly answer. I didn't have any flowers to bring for Terry, a man who inspired me since childhood. But I left with a promise. I promised that I would do the best I possibly could, no matter the circumstances. I decided that Sault Ste. Marie would be my next destination. Again, I found myself on highway number 17. This time, the experience would be much more pleasant. The roads opened up and were in much better condition than the roads between Kenora and Thunder Bay. Driving on these roads was much easier on this stretch, and having Lake Superior on my right allowed me to glance over at the beauty of the largest of the Great Lakes. The drive time was lengthy, but I did arrive in Sault Ste. Marie during the early evening. I took a quick drive through downtown and up to the water overlooking the St. Mary's River and into the American Sault Ste. Marie. Walking along Clergue Park and the art gallery of Algoma, I found some unusual structures. I had a late lunch or early supper in the park, while seagulls and geese clamoured around me for the possibility of a tasty treat. After running some miscellaneous errands, it was time for me to retire for the night. I pulled into my space for the evening, thought about my trip during this day and how it had been so far. My trip was for me to grow as a person, and this was a day of growth. I had realized that I had made several mistakes throughout this trip, as I have in my life. In order for me to grow, I had to learn from these mistakes. Subscribe to the Travel Experience channel. Tap the bell and join the conversation in the comment section below.